You've probably been told that seafood is the healthiest choice for people over 60. Light, rich in omega-3, good for your heart, right? But here's the truth most doctors won't say out loud. Some of the seafoods you eat every week could be silently damaging your heart, your kidneys, your joints, and you wouldn't even know it until it's too late. Why haven't you been warned? Because shrimp, scallops, squid, imitation crab, these aren't just food. They're billion-dollar products sitting in every supermarket, every buffet, every hospital meal plan. But inside your body, they may be acting like slow poison, especially after 60, when your liver, kidneys, and immune system don't work like they used to. If you've been waking up with stiff joints, brain fog, digestive issues, or unexplained fatigue, don't ignore it. It might not be aging. It might be what's on your plate. And the scariest part is, these seafoods are so common, so familiar. You probably had one last week, maybe even yesterday. But here's the good news. Not all seafoods are the enemy. In fact, there are 4 little-known marine superfoods used in traditional medicine and now proven by science that can help rebuild collagen, reduce inflammation, heal your gut, and restore energy after 60. And no, you won't hear about them in a commercial. They're not trendy. They're not profitable. But they work. In this video, we're going to reveal the 4 worst seafoods every senior should avoid immediately, and the 4 best ocean foods that can actually reverse the damage starting at the cellular level. Backed by science, confirmed by clinical studies, and explained in a way you can use starting today. So don't skip ahead, because each part builds on the last. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to remove, what to replace, and how to build a plate that heals instead of harms. Let's begin. Let's begin with one of the most popular seafoods on senior menus and also one of the most dangerous, shrimp. It's small, tasty, and often seen as a lean protein. But for anyone over 60, shrimp can be a silent destroyer. Chew. Just 3 ounces of shrimp contain around 180 milligrams of cholesterol. That's over half your daily limit in a single serving. And for younger people, that might not be such a big deal. But after 60, everything changes. Your liver doesn't process fats as efficiently. Your arteries start to stiffen. And your heart becomes much more sensitive to dietary cholesterol. According to research published in Circulation, seniors with. But that's just the beginning. Shrimp contains a muscle protein called tropomyosin. For younger bodies, it's easy to break down. But as we age, the digestive system weakens. This makes tropomyosin harder to process and more likely to trigger immune reactions even in people who never had allergies before. That's why many older adults suddenly develop rashes, itchy throats, or digestive discomfort after eating shrimp. And sometimes, it escalates into full-blown shellfish allergy without warning. Even worse, shrimp shells are made of chitin, a tough, indigestible fiber. As digestion slows with age, chitin builds up and leads to bloating, gas, acid reflux, and chronic constipation. If you've been feeling heavy or sluggish after meals, shrimp could be the hidden reason. And here's where things get darker. Over 70% of shrimp on the global market is farm-raised, mostly in Asia and Latin America. These farms often use banned antibiotics, like oxytetracycline, and heavy metals such as arsenic and lead to control disease in overcrowded shrimp tanks. These toxic residues accumulate in shrimp tissue. And once inside your body, they do real damage, especially to your gut microbiome. That's right. Shrimp doesn't just upset your digestion in the short term. It actually alters your gut bacteria, weakens your immune response, and increases inflammation throughout the body. That's why people who eat farmed shrimp regularly often experience fatigue, brain fog, skin flare-ups, or worsening autoimmune symptoms, and they don't even realize food is the cause. Now let's be fair. Not all shrimp is equally bad. Wild-caught shrimp from clean waters does contain fewer toxins and can be a safer option in moderation. But here's the catch: it's rare, expensive, and hard to find. And unless the package specifically says wild-caught, what you're buying is almost certainly farmed. Which means it likely carries the very risks we just talked about. So ask yourself, is it worth it? Is a few bites of shrimp worth raising your risk of stroke, gut inflammation, allergic reactions, and microbial imbalance? Now imagine this: while shrimp is silently raising your cholesterol, disrupting your digestion, and irritating your joints, there's another seafood that looks even more innocent, clean, elegant, often served in high-end restaurants. But inside your body, it may be overloading your kidneys with toxic metals and giving you none of the brain protective benefits you expect from seafood. Let's talk about scallops. Now let's talk about a seafood that looks even more innocent than shrimp. Soft, white, delicate scallops are often seen as the angelic choice on fancy menus. But under that polished surface, they may be doing silent damage, especially to your kidneys and your brain. Here's why. Scallops are what scientists call filter feeders. That means they absorb whatever's in the water around them, good or bad. And one thing they absorb extremely well is cadmium, a toxic heavy metal. In fact, multiple studies have shown that scallops often contain some of the highest cadmium levels among shellfish. Even just a few servings a week could push seniors dangerously close to the World Health Organization's safe limit. Now, you might be thinking, so what? I'm healthy. My kidneys can handle it. But here's the thing: after 60, your kidney filtration rate naturally drops. Your body becomes slower at flushing out toxins, especially metals like cadmium. And what happens when cadmium builds up? It starts damaging your nephrons, the tiny filters inside your kidneys, leading to protein leakage in the urine, higher blood pressure, and eventually, chronic kidney disease. And the scariest part? It's silent. No pain. No symptoms. Until it's too late. But that's not all. Many people choose scallops thinking they're getting the same brain and heart benefits as other seafood. But scallops are shockingly low in omega-3s, especially EPA and DHA, the fats your brain, eyes, and joints depend on. Compared to oysters, which can contain over 500 milligrams of omega-3s in just 3 ounces, scallops give you less than 30 milligrams. That's almost nothing. So not only are you risking kidney damage, you're also missing out on the brain and joint protection you think you're getting. And let's not forget how scallops are usually served. Creamy sauces, butter-heavy reductions, or pan-seared with tons of salt. All of that adds extra sodium and saturated fat, 2 things that raise your blood pressure and strain your kidneys even more. What looks light and clean on the plate might be pushing your heart and kidneys to the edge. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped to compare scallops with oysters? On the surface, they're both shellfish. Both served in fine dining. Both soft and mild. But biologically, they're worlds apart. Oysters are loaded with zinc, selenium, omega-3s, and B12. They protect your brain, boost your energy, and support healing. Scallops, they're beautiful but nearly empty. A shell without substance. If you've been choosing scallops thinking they're the healthier pick, you're not alone. But now you know better. And sometimes, knowing the truth is the most powerful tool you have. So let me ask you, have you been eating scallops regularly? Do you notice any changes in blood pressure, energy, or digestion afterward? Leave a comment below. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear what your experience has been. Now, coming up next is a seafood that doesn't even pretend to be real. It looks like crab, smells like crab, but what it's actually made from might shock you. And if you're over 60, it could be quietly hijacking your blood sugar, your insulin, and your metabolism. Let's talk about imitation crab. Now let's talk about a food that doesn't even pretend to be real. It looks like crab, it's shaped like crab, and if you close your eyes, it might even taste a little like crab. But imitation crab, also known as surimi, is about as far from real seafood as plastic cheese is from real cheddar. What is it, really? Surimi is a paste made from pulverized fish scraps, usually cheap white fish that didn't make the cut. It's mixed with refined starches, sugar, salt, artificial coloring, and flavor enhancers like monosodium glutamate. Then it's shaped, pressed, and dyed to look like crab sticks. Here's the problem: it's not just fake. It's harmful. Especially for older adults. Let's start with blood sugar. Because of the added starches, like tapioca or wheat flour, imitation crab has a glycemic index almost as high as white bread. That means it digests fast, spikes your blood glucose, and sends your insulin levels through the roof. If you're living with prediabetes, insulin resistance, or full-blown type 2 diabetes, this is a trap. You might think you're eating seafood, but your body reacts as if you just ate a sugar-laced bun. And that's not all. A single serving of imitation crab, just one stick, can contain over 700 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly a third of your recommended daily intake. Combine that with sauces, soy, or seasoning. You've got a salt bomb that raises your blood pressure, causes fluid retention, and stresses your heart, especially dangerous if your kidneys are already slowing down. And let's not forget MSG. It's used to fake the flavor of crab, but in many older adults, MSG can trigger headaches, dizziness, and even irregular heart rhythms. You know that foggy, bloated, tired feeling some people get after a big takeout meal? Yeah. That's not age, it's chemical overload. And here's what might surprise you most: imitation crab has almost none of the nutrition you'd get from real crab. No real omega-3s. Barely any zinc or selenium. No meaningful B12. You're eating empty calories that do more harm than good and leave your body starving for real nutrients. Still not convinced? Take a look at the back of a common surimi package sometime. You'll see a long list of additives, stabilizers, and ingredients you can't pronounce. Compare that to the clean label of wild-caught crab or even oysters. The difference is night and day. So if you've been buying imitation crab because it's convenient, cheap, or close enough, please think again. The short-term savings aren't worth the long-term cost to your metabolism, blood pressure, and energy. Now, before we move on, let me ask, have you ever checked the label on your surimi package? If not, promise me you will after this video. Or better yet, take a photo and share it in the comments. I'd love to show you what to look for and what to avoid. And listen, don't go anywhere. What's coming next might shock you even more. It's a seafood that looks innocent, even elegant. But inside your body, it can slowly poison your kidneys while delivering almost zero of the omega-3s you expect from seafood. And it's probably hiding in your freezer right now. Finally, we come to one of the most misunderstood seafoods on the plate: squid. It looks clean. It feels light. And it's often the star of that stir-fry you grab at lunch or the crispy appetizer you share at dinner. But what most people don't realize, especially after 60, is that squid might be quietly fueling inflammation, joint pain, and even heart stress, all under the radar. Let's start with the numbers. Just 3 ounces of cooked squid contain nearly 200 milligrams of cholesterol. That's more than most cuts of red meat. And while it may be low in fat, that doesn't make it heart-friendly. In fact, for older adults with stiffer arteries and slower liver function, high cholesterol from squid can put direct pressure on your heart, raising your risk of hypertension, plaque buildup, and arrhythmia over time. But cholesterol isn't the only concern. Squid is also high in purines, natural compounds that break down into uric acid in the body. Normally, uric acid is filtered by the kidneys and flushed out. But as kidney function naturally declines with age, excess uric acid begins to crystallize in the joints, leading to pain, stiffness, and what we know as gout. And here's the scary part: you may not even realize it's starting. You just feel a little stiff in the morning. Your knees ache more than usual. Your fingers don't move like they used to. You blame it on age, but all along, it could be that plate of squid from last night's dinner, slowly lighting fires in your joints. Now let's dig even deeper. Because not all squid is created equal. Fresh squid, grilled or lightly sautéed, still carries cholesterol and purines, yes, but it's usually part of a controlled dish. But fried squid, especially the kind served in restaurants and bars, is a whole different story. When you take squid and deep fry it in processed oils, you not only increase the cholesterol load, but you also introduce oxidized fats, the kind that damage your blood vessels and accelerate inflammation. And when it's paired with beer, salt, dipping sauces, or eaten late at night, which, let's be honest, it usually is, that meal becomes a perfect storm for joint pain, blood pressure spikes, acid reflux, and next-day fatigue. So here's the question you have to ask yourself. That chewy bite of calamari, was it worth the swelling in your fingers the next morning? Was it worth the tightness in your chest, the bloating, the stiffness in your knees? Now, I know this might be surprising. Squid looks so innocent. And maybe you've been told it's a better choice than red meat. But for many people over 60, it's a trap. And it's one you walk into with a fork and a smile, never suspecting the inflammation it's building up meal after meal. But here's the good news. While some seafoods like squid, shrimp, scallops, and imitation crab can quietly wear your body down, there are marine foods that do the exact opposite. They rebuild, restore, and re-energize your joints, your gut, your skin, and even your mind. Coming up next, we're diving into the ocean's best-kept secrets for healing seafoods that not only support your body after 60, but might actually help reverse damage you thought was permanent. And number one on that list? It's not even a fish. Don't go anywhere, you don't want to miss this. Now that we've uncovered the seafoods that harm your body silently, it's time to shift gears. Let's talk about the foods that heal. And topping the list is something most people have never even tried, but once you understand what it does, you'll wonder why you waited so long. It's called sea moss, also known as Irish moss. And for people over 60, it might just be one of the most powerful natural remedies the ocean has to offer. Sea moss contains 92 of the 102 minerals your body needs to function. Not synthetic pills. Not processed multivitamins. But real, bioavailable nutrients straight from nature. Magnesium, potassium, calcium, sulfur, zinc, selenium, all in forms your aging body can actually absorb and use. But what really makes sea moss special is how it stimulates your body to produce more collagen naturally. You've probably heard of collagen powders, creams, or injections. But the truth is, after 60, your body doesn't need more collagen from outside, it needs help making its own again. That's exactly what sea moss does. It gives your cells the building blocks they need to restore cartilage in your joints, improve skin elasticity, and repair the gut lining from the inside out. If you've been struggling with stiff knees, dry skin, slower healing, or even bloating and heartburn, sea moss could be a game changer. Why? Because it's rich in something called mucilage, a natural, gel-like fiber that coats and soothes the gut, helping to reduce inflammation, ease constipation, and calm acid reflux. It doesn't just pass through your system. It protects it. And it doesn't stop there. Sea moss contains natural iodine, which helps balance your thyroid, a gland that controls your energy, metabolism, mood, and even your breathing. Many seniors suffer from subclinical thyroid imbalance and don't even know it. Sea moss supports it gently, without synthetic hormones or side effects. It's also loaded with antiviral and antibacterial compounds, which support your immune system, and many people report clearer breathing, fewer colds, and better sleep within just weeks of consistent use. So if you're wondering, is sea moss worth trying? I'll put it this way, if there were a single food that could support your joints, calm your gut, hydrate your skin, balance your hormones, and boost your immunity all at once, this would be it. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried sea moss before? If not, what's holding you back? Drop your answer in the comments, I read every one, and I reply to as many as I can. I'll even share my favorite ways to prepare it at home, no supplements, just whole food. And if you're finding this helpful, please take 1 second right now to subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And by doing so, you're supporting real, honest health content that's made for seniors, not drug ads, not gimmicks, but real, practical knowledge you can use every day. We post videos like this every week to help you feel stronger, clearer, and more in control, because you deserve to age with power, not fear. Coming up next, we'll look at a marine superfood that's been used for centuries in healing medicine, and now science confirms it can help reduce joint swelling, protect your bones, and boost recovery after 60. And the best part? It's not a supplement. It's something you can steam, eat, and enjoy. If sea moss is like armor for your gut and joints, then oysters are the. I'll be honest. I used to think oysters were just a luxury food. Something you'd order at a fancy restaurant once a year. But when I started digging into the science, especially for people over 60, I realized oysters are one of the most complete. Let's start with zinc. Just 2 medium oysters give you over 100% of your daily zinc needs. And that matters more than people realize. Zinc is essential for immune strength, for wound healing, for testosterone production, and even for your sense of A 2021 study found that nearly. Then there's vitamin B12, and here's where oysters shine even brighter. You've probably heard that beef is a good source of B12. And it is. But oysters? They have even more. 3 ounces of oysters deliver more B12 than an entire steak, and with far less fat or heaviness. That means. And we're not done yet. Oysters are also rich in selenium, a powerful antioxidant that protects your thyroid and immune system, and copper, which plays a critical role in collagen production, red blood cell formation, and bone strength. In fact, one European study found that seniors with higher copper intake had fewer fractures and stronger bones. And if you've been dealing with brittle nails, thinning hair, or dry skin, this combination of minerals, zinc, copper, selenium, can make a visible difference within weeks. This isn't theory. This is food your body understands, food that feeds your cells, not just your stomach. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Aren't oysters risky? What about bacteria like Vibrio? That's a smart question, and here's how to stay safe. If you're over 60 or have a weakened immune system, the best choice is to eat oysters cooked, not raw. Steaming them gently, not overcooked, not deep-fried, preserves the nutrients while neutralizing harmful bacteria. And always buy from trusted, cold-chain suppliers, preferably from colder waters like Canada, New Zealand, or the U.S. Pacific Northwest. Clean source, clean benefits. So let me ask, have you ever added oysters to your regular diet? If not, maybe it's time. And if the idea feels new or unfamiliar, that's okay. You don't need to eat them every day. Even once or twice a week can deliver massive benefits. You can stir them into soups, grill them with garlic and herbs, or add them to a light broth with seaweed and ginger. Coming up next, we're going to explore a powerful marine shellfish that's flown under the radar for decades until now. With a rare type of omega-3 that's even more it's B. Now, if oysters are nature's multivitamin, then green-lipped mussels are your body's natural anti-inflammatory soldiers, and they fight silently, powerfully, and exactly where you need it most. These mussels come from the clean, cold waters of New Zealand, and they carry something rare, an omega-3 fatty acid called ETA. You've probably heard of EPA and DHA, the common omega-3s found in fish oil. But ETA, it does something special. ETA blocks an enzyme called 5-lipoxygenase, or 5-LOX for short. Why does that matter? Because 5-LOX is the enzyme that fuels joint inflammation, the kind that makes your knees ache, your hips stiff, and your mornings miserable. While regular omega-3s reduce inflammation indirectly, ETA goes straight to the source and tells that enzyme, stop. That's why seniors who take green-lipped mussels consistently report less swelling, more flexibility, and smoother movement, often within just a few weeks. In a 2020 study published in Nutrients, adults over 60 who consumed green-lipped mussel extract daily for 12 weeks experienced a 42% reduction in joint discomfort and a 35% improvement in physical function. That's not just relief, it's transformation. But the benefits don't stop at your joints. These mussels also contain natural iodine and selenium, which support thyroid function, and that means more stable energy, sharper focus, and better metabolism. If you've been dealing with sluggishness, weight gain, or cold hands and feet, your thyroid might be calling for help, and this food answers. And let's talk about something important, fish oil supplements. Yes, they help. But green-lipped mussels are different. They're a whole food. That means they contain a wider range of nutrients, not just isolated oils. And the omega-3s are more stable, more bioavailable, and less likely to oxidize. Translation: your body actually absorbs them better and uses them where it counts. So if you've been taking fish oil and still struggling with joint pain, stiffness, or low energy, this might be the missing piece. You can steam them gently with garlic and parsley. Or add them to soups and stews. Just avoid frying, they're too valuable to waste in hot oil. And yes, they have a bit of an earthy flavor. But your joints won't mind. Neither will your thyroid. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried green-lipped mussels before? Or have you been relying on fish oil supplements? Let me know in the comments below. Your story might help someone else make the right choice today. Next, we're heading into the most surprising marine food of all. It's not a fish, not a mussel, and not even a shellfish. It's something you've probably seen but never realized how powerful it truly is. Used in traditional medicine for centuries, and now backed by science, this ocean superfood helps rebuild collagen, seal leaky gut, support lung health, and reduce visible signs of aging. Let's talk about sea cucumber. We've talked about sea moss, oysters, green-lipped mussels, but now it's time to explore one of the most ancient, most underrated healing foods from the ocean, sea cucumber. And if you've never heard of it before, don't worry. Most people haven't. But it's been used for centuries in traditional Eastern medicine, and now, modern science is finally catching up. For people over 60, sea cucumber is more than just food. It's medicine. A true collagen source from nature, designed to help your body rebuild the tissues time has been wearing down. Let's start with what makes it special. Sea cucumber is one of the richest natural sources of chondroitin sulfate, the very same compound found in joint supplements. But instead of coming in pill form, this is the real thing. Unprocessed. Unstripped. Alive with nutrients. Chondroitin sulfate helps to cushion your joints, reduce inflammation, and promote the regeneration of cartilage. If you've been feeling that stiffness in your shoulders, that dull ache in your lower back, or the grinding pain in your knees, this is where it starts to make a difference. It's also known to support the cervical spine, so if you often wake up with pain in your neck or the dull pressure between your shoulder blades, sea cucumber could bring relief where stretching and massage alone just can't reach. But it goes deeper than joints. Sea cucumber is rich in bioactive peptides and collagen-like compounds that help repair the connective tissues in your skin, tendons, and gut lining. That means stronger joints, smoother skin, better posture, and more resilience overall. After all, aging doesn't just show in your wrinkles, it shows in how you move, how you recover, how you stand, and how you feel when you wake up. And for those with slow healing wounds, weak nails, or brittle bones, this is the kind of gentle, restorative support your body actually recognizes. Now, one thing I love about sea cucumber is how versatile it is. You can simmer it with traditional Chinese herbs, add it to medicinal soups, or prepare it in light broths 2 to 3 times a week. It's gentle on the stomach, rich without being heavy, and perfect for older adults with sensitive digestion. But here's something important to know, not all sea cucumber is created equal. On the market today, you'll find many dried or frozen varieties that have been soaked in preservatives or harsh chemicals to increase shelf life. These versions are often rubbery, overly white, or unnaturally firm. That's not what you want. Look for sea cucumber that's dried naturally, free of bleach, and has a natural brown or tan tone. When rehydrated, it should become soft and gelatinous, not hard or rubbery. Trust your senses. If it smells too strong or feels too stiff after soaking, something's not right. And please, if you've ever cooked with sea cucumber before, or maybe you've heard stories from your parents or grandparents about using it for health, share it in the comments. I'd love to know how you prepare it, or what kind of results you've seen. These aren't just recipes, they're cultural memories, and they deserve to be kept alive. And if this is your first time hearing about sea cucumber, that's okay too. Let's learn together. Ask your questions below, I'll do my best to answer and help you get started. Now that we've uncovered the 4 worst and 4 best seafoods for people over 60, it's time to bring it all together. What do you actually do with this information? How do you build a real-life meal plan that helps your joints, your gut, your heart, and your energy, all without going broke or spending hours in the kitchen? Let's wrap it all up with a simple blueprint you can follow starting today. Let's take a moment to bring everything together, because the food you eat after 60 isn't just about calories or flavor anymore. It's about healing or harm. Every bite is a decision your body feels days, even weeks later. So here's the simple truth. The 4 seafoods to avoid. Shrimp. Scallops. Imitation crab. Squid. They may look harmless. Some even seem healthy. But deep inside, they're feeding inflammation, raising cholesterol, damaging kidneys, and robbing you of the very nutrients you need most. And the 4 you should eat instead? Sea moss. Oysters. Green-lipped mussels. Sea cucumber. These are not just foods. They're therapeutic. Rich in minerals, collagen, omega-3s, and anti-inflammatory compounds your aging body desperately needs. If you're wondering how to put this into practice, here's a simple starting point. Day 1, sea moss gel in your morning tea or smoothie. Day 2, steamed oysters with lemon and garlic for lunch. Day 3, green-lipped mussels gently sautéed with herbs. Day 4, sea cucumber soup with mild medicinal herbs. Day 5, back to sea moss, this time stirred into warm oatmeal. Day 6, a small serving of oysters or mussels with a side of greens. Day 7, light sea cucumber broth in the evening for joint support. Rotate. Mix. Listen to your body. You don't have to eat all 4 every week, but even adding 1 or 2 consistently can change how you move, how you sleep, how you feel. Because the truth is, you don't need painkillers, liver tonics, or sleeping pills if you're eating right. The ocean has already given us food that heals. The only question is, will you recognize it and choose it? Now, I'd love to hear from you. What are you eating every week? Have you tried sea moss or fresh oysters before? Leave a comment below, and if you're comfortable, share your age and any health issues you're focusing on right now. I'll personally reply with suggestions for which seafood might be the best fit for your needs. And if this video helped you even just a little, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It's free. But for us, it means we can keep creating more real, science-backed content made specifically for older adults who want to live longer, move better, and feel stronger without hype, without noise, and without gimmicks. You're not alone on this journey. And you're not too late to change. Every sip, every bite still matters. Starting now.